Hello and welcome. So today I've got a brand new video that I'm releasing. The content in this video is quite different to anything that I've released onto my platforms before. So I just wanted to jump on and do a really quick video or a really quick intro to this video just to give it a little bit of context. So if you've been following me for a while, you know I normally release health and wellness videos, yoga, Pilates, nutrition, meditation videos. But today's video is a brand new topic. So today we're going to be chatting about mindset, about money, about income, about manifestation. We're going to be talking all about doing work that you really, really love and how to build and create something that is aligned with who you are. So this might seem a little bit unusual to be putting onto a health and wellness channel, but for me, living this way and running my own businesses and doing work that I really love, work that feels authentic to me, work that is creative, work that gives me time freedom, work that has taught me about abundance mindset. Doing work like this has really supported my own well-being throughout the years. And so I want to open up the conversation on this channel for anybody else who is interested in mindset, in abundance, in manifestation, in doing work that feels very aligned with who you are, or doing work that is creative, doing work that sparks your soul, and being able to make a good income while doing it. So what I've decided to do on this channel is to open up this conversation by starting a new segment called Wealthy Wednesdays. So every Wednesday I'll be releasing new videos where we're talking about mindset, we're talking about income, we're talking about doing work that you love and how to create that for yourself, because I think this is a huge part of well-being. So if this is something that you are interested in, if you are thinking about working for yourself or thinking about starting your own business or trying to come up with ideas or trying to come up with the courage, maybe you'd like to start a side hustle to bring in a little bit of extra income, or maybe you really want to step into this space and really start doing something that you love and earning good income while doing it. If that sounds like something that you want to bring into your life, or you want to understand more about, or you're just curious about it, Wednesdays on this channel are going to be for you. So I'm starting this Wealthy Wednesdays by, I've recorded a 3-part series, and in this 3-part series I basically go over everything that I've done over the last 15 years. So for the last 15 years I've only worked for myself, online businesses. I started with nothing. I had no skills, I had no training, I had no financial backing, and I was a single mum to 2 little ones. So I was a young mum, I think I was like 22 or 23, and yeah, so I was a single mum to 2 little ones, and I really wanted to work for myself. I wanted to do work that was very aligned with who I am, that I was passionate about, that felt like I was doing good in the world, and basically my journey has spanned over the last 15 years. I've seen loads and loads and loads of failures. I've made so many mistakes, but I have also created some of the most incredible businesses and seen some incredible successes. I've created things that I didn't even know existed, like a passive income. That's probably the most incredible thing that I created for myself, because then I also created time freedom, which was just incredible and honestly life-changing. So ever since I've been doing well with things and my mindset has changed around income, around abundance, around alignment, I've really wanted to share my journey so that I could help to inspire anybody else who's thinking about doing this, or is curious about doing this, or needs some courage and some community around this topic. I've wanted to share my journey. So I'm not selling you anything, by the way. That's really important. I know a lot of people release information like this, and then at the end of it they're like, do my coaching program, and there's a place for that, but that's not what this is. I'm just releasing my experience, so that if anybody else is curious about doing something like this, they can see that it is possible and maybe get some inspiration. Once I have finished my 3 videos that will detail my journey through creating online businesses and always being able to work for myself and work from home, I will then be seeking out other people in this industry that have done better than me, especially women. There is something about women in business that I love. I love chatting to women who have done really well in business. So I'll be seeking out other people, entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, who have a really good mindset, that can give you lots of tips and inspiration. And I will be interviewing them for my own self as well, because I want to learn more and know more, and for you guys as well, for anybody else that is interested in this topic. So remember, Wealthy Wednesdays, every Wednesday I will be releasing videos around mindset, around money, around building businesses, in particular building businesses online, passive income. We will be opening up this topic. It'll all be very aligned, very purpose-filled, very loving, and yeah. So I hope you love it. So the first video is like the first part of my business journey, where I learnt a lot, made a lot of mistakes, but saw some incredible successes, and it was an incredible experience. And when I say I started with nothing, guys, I mean I started with nothing. Like, I was so young, I had no financial backing, no business experience, and from that place I did really well. And so I'll document for you in this short video how that went. So I hope you love the video. And I hope that you feel inspired and you get some good tips from the video. And I hope to keep seeing you every Wednesday, and I hope to connect with you further. My name's Jess Fleming, and until the next video, bye for now. If you're following my project, you'll know that the idea for this project and for these videos is to share with my daughters, and for anybody else in the world, the information that I think is most important when creating a beautiful life for yourself. Money and freedom, I believe, is important and has the ability to change your entire life. So for the last 15 or 20 years, I've only done online businesses. So I'll do this video as a basic introduction video and give you a general overview of how I've made money online, and hopefully give you some tips, ideas, and inspiration if this is something that you want to do. When I was young, like when I was in like grade 9, so like 14 or 15, I decided that the only thing I wanted to do was run my own businesses. I was smart, but I did not want to be in the the system. I didn't want to be in the system that our society has created, in the way of working for somebody, making money for somebody else, having set hours and set time, like not having my own time freedom. I knew that in my later years, like when I was older, that I wouldn't want to work, that I would want money, but free time. And the best way I could figure out to do that was to have my own businesses. I also love the idea of being creative, like being able to create whatever I wanted. So that was when I was young. Fast forward to when I was about 22 or 23, I just had babies, my little babies, and I did not want to go to work. So the only thing I had done after school was just like hospitality work. Wasn't really heading in any direction, didn't really have any skills, wasn't really going anywhere in life. And when I had my babies, I knew that I wanted to stay home with them. I knew I wanted to be with them every minute of the day if I could. And I knew that the only way to do that was to produce an income for myself online. So I didn't know what I was doing. I knew I had the ability to do it. I knew I could figure it out, because I feel like I'm someone that can just figure stuff out. So I had full confidence in myself that I could do this. I had no idea how hard it was going to be. I genuinely did not know how hard it was going to be, but I was like, I'm going to do this anyway. I didn't really know what to do or where to start. My only interest at the time, so this is back when I was like 22, so we're going back like 20 years ago. My only interest at the time was makeup. So I was like, I'll study makeup, and then I'll start something online through makeup. I studied to be a makeup artist. I was really bad at it. I was really, really bad at it. And when you do makeup, like the money that you make through doing makeup is usually through doing like bridal makeup and stuff. So people are very particular about their makeup. So when I was learning to do makeup and hair and everything, and realized that I wasn't good at it, I didn't stop because I enjoyed it so much. I loved the creativity of it. I just figured that I would get better at it. But what was really interesting is that back then, so you have to buy your makeup supplies, right? Like mascara wands and sponges and stuff like that. They're disposables. There was only one place in Australia. I'm from Australia. There was only one place in Australia where you could buy them. And so the lady that owned that online store, the makeup store, she charged a lot for these disposable mascara wands and disposable sponges and stuff. And because you go through a lot of them, like training to be a makeup artist and being a makeup artist, I was like, I don't want to pay these massive prices because it's just too expensive for something that you use once and throw out. So I started importing them from America. I had to import them in bulk. That's how you got a cheaper price. But by importing them from America in bulk, I was saving, I was probably paying around probably 15% of what I was paying to get the same amount here in Australia from this lady. Anyway, so I start importing them. As they arrive, as my sponges and mascara wands arrive, I'm like, wow, these are amazing quality. Like, they're beautiful, and I'm paying so much less than what I would be paying from this lady that supplies here in Australia. So I was like, I could sell these for twice as much as what I'm buying them for, and I'd still be selling them for half as much as this other lady. I knew there was market demand because I knew the industry. So I was on all the makeup forums, like chatting to other makeup artists, and a constant complaint was that disposable mascara wands and sponges and stuff were really expensive. So when you find people complaining about something, there's a gap in a market that needs to be filled. That's business. That's a good business idea, is when you can see that people want something, they're needing it, they're wanting it. You then have a great business idea, because when I hear people say, oh, I want to sell this, it's kind of on the wrong track. What you want to do with business is find things that they're like begging for it, right? And so instead of you begging them to buy something from you and convincing them that they need to buy it, if you see that there is a gap in a market, that is a great business idea. So I saw that there was a gap in the market for disposable mascara wands and sponges, and I saw that I could fill that gap. So I was like, oh, this is a great idea. And so I wanted to build a website and import some stock and give it my best shot. It was going to cost me all of $2,000 to do that. At that point in my life, I did not have $2,000. This is the kind of financial position that I was beginning from. And that's why this information is so important, I think, for anybody that wants to start something, is because if you see where I began and the journey that I went through and some of the successes that I've seen, you will hopefully be able to learn from that and find some inspiration through it. So I did not have $2,000. It was going to cost me 20 years ago, $1,000 to build the e-commerce website. A website like that now would cost $10,000 plus if you had somebody build it. I needed someone to build it because I wasn't going to be able to do it. And there weren't the platforms around then that are around now, like Shopify, things that make e-commerce or online stores really easy. So I needed someone to build my website. That was going to cost me a whopping $999 for this company in Sydney to build it. And then I needed $1,000 worth of stock because I had to buy in bulk. There was like these minimum amounts that you needed to buy. And I knew I'd need several products on there before I could go to the forums or whatever and say, hey guys, I've got these mascara wands and stuff available. I did not have $2,000, but I had a great idea. And I didn't know how I was going to find that money. As a young mum, I did have a partner, but we were off and on very early on. So he wasn't an option for me to go to. So anyhow, I had this idea, had no money, and I was like, I'm just going to keep working on it, keep researching, keep figuring things out until I can figure out how to find this money. Fast forward 3 months, the bank that I banked with just randomly sent me a letter saying you've been pre-approved for a $2,000 credit card. And I was like, stop it, like as if that wasn't meant to be. And it was like, do you want it? And I was like, yes, I want it. Yes, I want it. I'm going to turn this into more money. So I got the credit card. I purchased my website. I think it took them like 6 weeks to build that website. In that time, I purchased my stock from America and had that shipped over. This is where I started to learn about like freight because I'm learning as I go. Remember, I have no business training. I have no skills in this area, no knowledge in this area, and I didn't know anybody either that had any knowledge of what I wanted to do and achieve. So I was just jumping in the deep end and trying to figure things out as I went. I got the stock in, had the website built, and then I launched the website when it was ready. I posted on forums, like on the forums. So a forum, if you don't know what that is, it's like an online chat room. I posted on those forums where I knew other makeup artists were and just let them know that I had this stuff available. And I also did, I think, Google ads because I didn't have money, but I think you could, at the time, I don't know if it's still the same, you could do the ads and then pay like a month later or something. So I had planned to make that money in the month. So I started doing well. I got a sale. My first sale was in like the first 24 hours, which was really exciting. I was like, this is going to go great. I know it is. Within the first month, I had this huge company in Australia contacts me. My website was beautiful, by the way, and there was not many people around doing what I was doing. So it gave me, so it wasn't as littered as the industry wasn't as littered then as it is now. So they have found me somehow, contacted me, and they placed an order for $1,000 worth of these mascara wands and sponges and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, dream come true. I've just made half my investment back. Kind of, not really, because you got to take out how much stock costs, but you know what I mean. It was an exciting time. What I didn't realize is that they were actually getting samples from me. I was about to become their monthly supplier of all of their disposable mascara wands and sponges. Was there anything else? I think there might have been face pads or something in there as well, for all of their stores in Australia. So they were about to start making regular $20,000 plus orders from me to get these disposables. So anyway, I sent them, I took so much care of this order and sending it, making it so beautiful, and sending them other samples of things that I had in stock. Oh yeah, I had like little makeup spatulas and stuff. My brain's trying to go back 20 years right now. So I sent them this beautiful order. They obviously liked the products. I was at the time just hoping for regular orders from them of $1,000. But then they start doing these massive orders and I was like, okay, like I'm in this. I'm a few months into this online business. I've got tiny little kids running around. So I'm learning to be a mom. I'm learning to do business. Just beyond excited. I can't tell you how excited I am because this is my first try at a business and it's just like snowballing. So they start doing big orders. I'm also getting on a roll with like customers, you know, like individual people doing their little orders. So this thing's just off and running. I start, so the first thing I have to do is learn how to import these big amounts of supplies from America. There was a huge learning curve in understanding how to import such large amounts of things. There's also things with insurance that I had to learn about where I get deemed as the manufacturer as I'm importing things. And I've got no idea what I'm doing and I'm just learning as I go. So I started importing these massive amounts of things. I made a couple of huge mistakes, like accidentally doing FedEx Express, which cost thousands of dollars as a mistake. So it came really quickly, which that was great. But then I got this massive bill. I remember it was like $6,500. And I told you what my financial position was at this time. And I was like, oh my gosh, what a mistake. But this happens in business and this happens when you're learning things on your own. It's just the way it is. It's the way the cookie crumbles. Like, I just had to go with it and figure it all out. Anyway, so I start importing these massive amounts of mascara wands and sponges and little spatulas and stuff, and I start supplying to this big company. So that becomes this regular thing for this business. I ended up having this business for 4.5 years. So that's one side of it. And then I've got my customers that are starting to grow through word of mouth, the online forums, and the little bit of advertising I was doing on Google. I would also do regular sales because they just seem to drive so much business. So I've got all of this going on. I start to pack out my garage with all of this stock, and I start to increase the things that I am stocking. So I can see there's a market for it. And so I start stocking makeup cases. At the time, things were not widely available. Like, we didn't have Amazon then. We didn't have like just being able to really easily ship things in from China. So the market was different back then, but you still might get some ideas and inspiration from this. I start doing makeup cases. The people that I was getting the makeup cases from were actually based in Australia, and I managed to set up like a deal with them that I could basically... So I had to buy in like 3 makeup cases was like the minimum I had to purchase from them for me to stock them. So what I would do is I would put them on my website. I would wait until I sold one, because you'd sell one for like, I think it was $350, something like that. And that's about what it costs for me to actually get 3 from this company. So I would sell one, I would get this company to send that one to that person and then the other 2 to me. So I'm slowly starting to build stock. So this is just something like, basically what I'm pointing out there is being thrifty. If you haven't got a lot of financial backing, if I had $50,000 financial backing, it would be much easier to just buy the stock and sell it. But this also safeguarded my finances because I'm not making any big investments. So basically then the rest of that business was for the next 4.5 years, I grew that online. I took it into a shop front for a little while, for about 6 months, but it went terribly. Because the shop had gotten so popular online and so many people that were local kept asking, can I come in and have a look at this? Can I come in and have a look at that? And I'm like, I'm in my garage, guys. No. So I found this really cute little shop and decked all of that out. I think that cost like $10,000. Insurance was big because you've got stock. You also have to buy a lot of stuff because you've got to look like you've got stock. You've got to look professional, like you know what you're doing. So I opened that shop and crickets. People did not come in. They kept ordering online, but not many came in. And then what ended that lease was somebody broke into the shop. I got in one morning. I loved the shop. It was beautiful and it was a fun experience. I loved having the shop. I got in one morning and I was like, doesn't look right. Something doesn't look right. And then I noticed all this glass down around. I had these huge glass doors at the front of the shop. Somebody had just smashed their way in basically and stolen all the makeup supplies. I don't know what they would have done with them. I don't know if they had big resale value. The makeup brushes probably did. Anyway, that just I was just like, do you know what? This isn't working. This is costing an absolute fortune. It hasn't increased my income at all. It's just increased my expenses. And so I took it back out of the shop and went back to the garage. So that was an expensive lesson, but it was also a fun one. And this is one of the things with business is you don't know until you try. You can get all of the information that you want and get all of the advice that you want. The only way you're really going to know something is to give it a shot. I knew that my business wouldn't fail if going into that shop for 6 months failed. So that was the main thing that I was looking at. And if you're looking at expanding or trying something new with business, that's super important. You've got to ask yourself, if all the cards come crashing down, will your business fail? And I knew I had enough money to try it. And if it didn't work, that I would be able to just go back to working from my garage, which I did. And then I kept expanding, started selling actual makeup, which was just so much fun. I had so much fun because I was so passionate about these products. I wasn't good at doing makeup, but I loved doing it. And so I knew what a good product was. I knew the market well. I knew where the gaps were. I knew what was popular, and it just did so well. But then I got to this point, probably for the last 6 months of the business, where I was just so uninspired. I was just finished. It was like I'd had my fun and I was done. And I started having a real want to be in the yoga industry. So I'd started doing yoga, and I just fell so in love with it. It was all I wanted to do. And I'm one of those people who, I know it's said that it's ADHD, but I think it's a personality type, an important personality type. I'm gonna unpack that in another video. But I'm one of those people that I have to do something that I love. It feels like torture to my soul if I'm bored or uninspired. I just can't do it. So I was like, I'm just going to sell this makeup business. It's a good business. I just wanted to sell it quickly. I knew it was worth a fair bit, especially because I had these regular clients, because I also ended up having Giorgio Armani, L'Oreal, like these massive companies starting to buy makeup cases and stuff from me. So my client base was huge, and I had a good subscription, like people that were subscribed to my email list. So I had a good business to sell. So I put it on to Gumtree, which is like a free marketplace. I just, honestly, now that I think about it, I just had no idea. I put it onto this free marketplace and sold it for probably about a third of what it was worth, because I just wanted to sell it quickly. I was just like, I'm finished. I want to be done with this. It's given me so much money and so much fun over the last 4 years. I just want to now move on from it with a bit of money in my pocket, because I had ideas of other things I wanted to try. This beautiful, amazing woman who lives locally. She came to my place. She had a look at things. We met up with each other probably 3 or 4 times. She was like, yep, I love it. She bought the business. She did really well with it. I saw that I followed her for a little bit and helped her to kind of understand the business, because she had tried to start businesses similar, but couldn't get them off the ground. So her buying this one that was already established was a really good thing for her. So she bought that. I gave her business training for like 6 months, just basically showing her what I did. And then I saw that she did really well with it and brought out her own makeup line. So it was really good for her. It had really served me over that 4.5 years. I learned so much about business. I made a lot of mistakes in there that cost me a lot of money as well. But in general, it provided for me and my daughters. And it was beautiful business and lots of fun. So I sold that to her really quickly. And then I moved into the yoga industry. I wonder if I should do you know what? I'll do a part 2 video, because this is going to be too long. So that was my first business. That was my first online business. I was really lucky because it did well. And I managed to keep it afloat, despite shipping a massive lot of things in from the US Express, and having some huge making some huge financial mistakes. I still managed to keep it afloat. It provided for me and my daughters, and then I managed to sell it. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. And so I'll do a part 2, taking you on to the next leg of my business journey, which was the yoga industry, which turned out to be an incredibly difficult place to make money, incredibly difficult, but I ended up making the most money I've ever made, and also a passive income, which was a whole new world for me, something that I didn't know was available. But as a mum, and I was a single mum at the time, it was life-changing. It was life-changing. So I'll do a part 2 to that video for you. For now, that will be my introduction to everything I know about making money, particularly online. Make sure you subscribe so that you hear about the videos that I release, and make sure that you are subscribed to my email list, because I send out a super fun email at least once a week, usually on a Sunday, to let you know what fun things are happening on this channel, what videos I've released and will be releasing, and anything else super fun that's happening. My name is Jess Fleming, and that is everything I know about making money online. I hope to connect with you soon.